My ambitious and responsible Capricorn friend. Hello and welcome. My name is Mina, and I'm here to offer you a 3-card reading exploring the themes of you, your path, and your potential. I invite you to consider what the reading reveals about possible challenges, opportunities, and personal growth for the week ahead. Take a deep breath, rest your mind, and let's see what the cards have to share with you today. Capricorn, there's a subtle ache beneath your steady presence this week. You might notice it in the quiet moments, those brief pauses between tasks when you catch yourself wondering if you're missing something vital just beyond your grasp. There's a tension that doesn't quite speak aloud, an undercurrent beneath your reliable routine. It's as if expectations, your own or those you sense from others, have grown heavier, quietly demanding more of your attention. You keep moving as always, but a gentle restlessness persists. You may not name it or admit it outwardly, but it's there. A flicker of uncertainty about whether the old ways of coping, striving, and proving are enough right now. The feeling is not loud or dramatic. It's the subtle, persistent sense that your emotional landscape is shifting, quietly asking for space to breathe. Perhaps you're longing for a kind of connection or understanding that doesn't fit neatly into your usual plans. Maybe you sense the need for softness, even as you hold yourself to high standards. This tension isn't a flaw. It's a sign of something stirring beneath the surface, an invitation to notice the feelings you usually keep tucked away. There's permission here, even if you haven't given it yet, to be a little more honest with yourself. In the heart of this week, you find yourself colored by the spirit of the Page of Cups. You aren't always comfortable with vulnerability, and yet something in you is reaching for it now. Maybe you catch yourself reacting more gently to someone's offhand comment, or you feel a swell of unexpected empathy at a story you overhear. Emotions that once felt manageable now seem to want your full attention. It's as if your inner world is waking up, stretching into new territory. You might notice a sense of curiosity about your feelings, even if you're not sure what to do with them. There's a youthful energy here, a willingness to explore, to approach your own heart as if meeting it for the first time. At the same time, you may feel hesitant, unsure how to express what's stirring inside. The desire to keep things contained is strong. You want to protect your reputation for competence, but the usual safeguards feel less reassuring than they used to. Instead, you sense that there's something valuable in letting your guard down, if only with yourself. Gentle thoughts drift in. What if I let myself feel this? What would happen if I shared even a small piece of it? You aren't rushing into declarations or dramatic confessions. Instead, you're quietly listening to yourself, allowing softer feelings to surface without judgment. There's a low hum of possibility beneath the surface, an invitation to let wonder and tenderness have a place at your table, even if only for a moment. This emotional openness is new, and it brings both unease and hope. You're not sure where it will lead, but you're willing to notice what arises. This is a week where your inner landscape is more fluid, more receptive, and more alive than you might have expected. There's a kind of beauty in simply being present to it all. This openness, this gentle turning inward, begins to ripple out into your daily life. The feelings you've met quietly now start to shape the way you engage with the world around you. Where you might once have brushed aside emotion to focus on productivity, you find yourself pausing, reconsidering. The questions you ask yourself about what matters, about how you want to show up, begin to influence your choices. It's not a dramatic shift, but rather a gradual unfolding. The inner curiosity you've allowed starts to color your interactions, your willingness to collaborate, and even your approach to challenges. You notice that your sensitivity is not a distraction, but a source of insight. The way you hold space for yourself begins to change the way you hold space for others. As the week unfolds, the Three of Pentacles makes itself felt in the fabric of your experiences. You're drawn into situations that ask for both your skill and your willingness to work alongside others. There's momentum here, a sense that you're part of something larger than yourself, even if the details are still coming into focus. The pressures are real. You might feel the weight of expectations from colleagues, family, or friends, each pulling you in a different direction. Sometimes the friction shows up as a clash of ideas or a moment when your own uncertainty meets someone else's confidence. There's no escaping the reality that you are needed, that your contributions matter, and that others are watching to see how you navigate these moments. Yet, in the midst of this, there's also a chance to bring your renewed sensitivity into the mix. The emotional openness you've allowed yourself now becomes a quiet strength. You find opportunities to listen more closely, to notice the subtle cues in conversations, to recognize when support is needed and when it's time to step back. Collaboration takes on new meaning. It's not just about getting the job done, but about honoring the unspoken needs and hopes that everyone brings to the table. The path isn't always smooth. There are moments when you doubt whether your vulnerability is an asset. You might worry that showing too much softness will be misunderstood, but as you stay with the process, you see that authenticity opens doors that ambition alone could never unlock. The pressures of the week don't disappear, but your relationship to them shifts. You realize that you don't have to carry everything alone, and that true progress often comes from letting others see your real self. This is a week of building, not just in the outer world, but in the inner architecture of trust and understanding. It becomes clear that what you make of this week depends on how honestly you engage with the process. The potential that waits for you isn't automatic. It asks something of you, not more effort but more presence. When you allow yourself to meet each moment with sincerity, when you bring your full self to the table, the possibilities begin to shift. You see that the real work is not just in the tasks you accomplish, but in the way you show up again and again with openness and curiosity. The invitation is ongoing. Every choice, every conversation, every quiet moment becomes a chance to practice this deeper engagement. The more you lean into it, the more you sense what could unfold. At the edge of this unfolding stands the moon, casting its gentle, uncertain light across your path. Here, growth isn't about certainty or control. It's an invitation to dwell in the questions, to make peace with not having all the answers. The moon asks you to trust your instincts, even when the road ahead is unclear. You find yourself walking through pockets of ambiguity, moments when the familiar markers are hidden, and you have to rely on subtler forms of guidance. This isn't always comfortable. You might feel disoriented, unsure whether your feelings are leading you astray or showing you something vital. But there's a quiet reassurance here. You don't have to force clarity. Instead, you're invited to linger in the mystery, to let intuition and imagination guide your steps. Growth becomes possible when you resist the urge to define everything. You notice that your sensitivity, once a source of discomfort, is now a lantern in the fog. It helps you sense what's true, even when it's hard to articulate. This is a time to honor your dreams, your questions, and the parts of yourself that thrive in the in-between. The moon doesn't promise answers, but it does offer a gentle sense of belonging within the unknown. You realize that it's enough for now to be present to your own unfolding, to trust that the way forward will reveal itself as you go. Looking back across the week, you see how each part of your journey has built upon the last. The tender awareness of the Page of Cups softened your defenses, making it possible to approach challenges with genuine curiosity. The collaborative spirit of the Three of Pentacles called you into action, showing you the value of honest engagement and shared effort. The mystery of the moon reminded you that not everything needs to be solved right away, and that your intuition is a trustworthy companion. Together, these energies create a space where you can honor both your ambitions and your vulnerability. The pressures you faced have not defined you. They have revealed new layers of strength and adaptability. You end the week not with all the answers, but with a quieter heart and a deeper sense of trust in your own process. There's reassurance in knowing that you can hold both certainty and doubt, both skill and sensitivity. Wherever you stand now, you are more complete for having walked this path. Actionable insights for Capricorn this week. Try giving yourself a little extra time to notice how you feel, especially when things get busy. See what happens if you ask one honest question in a conversation, just out of curiosity. Let yourself rest in a moment of uncertainty without needing to resolve it right away. Spoken word affirmations to repeat aloud for a more positive mindset. I acknowledge the tenderness within me. I trust my feelings, even when they surprise me. I can work alongside others without losing myself. Uncertainty is not my enemy. I am steady, even as I change. And now, dear friend, I thank you for giving me your time. I truly hope I have given you something helpful in return. Goodbye and good luck until next time.